Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Donovan's Daily Dose. I'm your favorite APUSH history teacher, Mr. Donovan, and today we're going to start looking at women in the New Republic era. So let's define this first. This New Republic era that I mentioned is really going to be in the 1780s to about the early 1800s. Historians really define this as a period right after the American Revolution. So to set the scene for this, let's go back in time a little bit and take a look at what happens during the Revolution and right before it. So women started to take a more active role in America prior to and during the Revolution. This includes creating groups like the Daughters of Liberty. So the Daughters of Liberty will play a critical role during the Revolution. They will do events like homespun, which allows them to develop blankets and uniforms for Continental soldiers. So this will help to fill in the gap that was left by the lack of trade with Great Britain. Along with this, we have famous women making their way onto the scene like Phyllis Wheatley. She is the first published African-American poet in U.S. history. She is going to be a huge supporter of the patriot cause. She especially writes a letter to George Washington explaining how this can be an incredibly important time for the ideas of freedom and liberty. And she's hoping that there will be significant changes for black citizens after the revolution's over. Along this, we have Abigail Adams. So I'm going to bring up a famous letter she writes to her husband, shown here. Now, the quote that I want to pull your attention to is this idea of remembering the ladies. So Abigail Adams writes this in hopes that John Adams and the other delegates meeting during the Revolution will create a new political system in which women have representation. Now, as we fast forward into the New Republic era, I want to take a look at both continuities and changes for women. So one of the big continuities is the lack of suffrage for women under this new Constitution. So during this New Republic era, there is no granted suffrage to women in the actual U.S. Constitution. The U.S. Constitution won't give voting rights to specific groups until the 1800s. Along with this, one of the other continuities is the idea of coverture. So coverture laws are going to be ones that say that a household functions best when men control all the assets. So as a result, when women got married, legally, their wages, the property they brought into their marriage, anything like that actually would belong to the husband. And he can manage it, give it away, or use it as he saw fit without consulting her. So this is a carryover from the Revolutionary era. Now, some of the big changes, the one I'll focus on for this video is Republican Motherhood. So this is going to be more of a civic role for women, meaning that they are supposed to teach their sons about the values of a Republican form of government in which citizens elect people to represent them. They're going to be well-versed, they should be well-versed in political philosophies. They should harp on the significance of political participation. And in order for this to be successful, women need increased educational opportunities. So we are going to see a shining example of this with the Young Ladies Academy of Philadelphia. So this school is going to be around from 1787 to 1804. They enroll about 100 to 150 scholars at a time. Students came from predominantly Philadelphia and the surrounding areas, and they studied a curriculum that included English grammar, writing, reading, and civics. And that civics role was at the heart of the Young Ladies Academy because they would have annual public examinations in which students gave speeches about politics or about philosophy, and there was prizes awarded based on academic merit. And all these things are going to play a huge role in building this idea of Republican motherhood, a role that they previously did not have. Women had very limited educational opportunities prior to the Revolution. Teaching son about politics was usually seen as a male role. So this is where we start to see women engage in this new civic role in America. Now, due to the lack of legal status changes in the idea of suffrage, we'll see women's rights movement become more prominent in the mid to late 1800s and the early 1900s. But that's it for Donovan's Daily Dose. Have an awesome rest of your day.